What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host Josh, and we are here for the first match preview of the upcoming Bundesliga match. First game of the season between Borussia Dortmund and Eintracht Frankfurt. And like we've done on the channel many a times, we're going to go through the process of what is our match previews. And to get us started, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support. If you could so kindly please drop a like and drop a sub on the channel. It's always appreciated as we do our deep dive into the match preview. And the first thing that we do here is we like to take a little look at the history between the two clubs, but recent history, last 5 games, just to kind of give an idea of how the teams have done against each other in the recent past. And looking at the last 5 games, we went 1-3-1. So relatively comfortable games against Frankfurt, where we basically picked up a point in at least 4 to 5 matches, but still not the best record you could ask for going up against a team like Frankfurt. And last season, we actually lost the last game against them 2-1 and then drew the game before that 1-1. So Frankfurt in last season got the better of us and really made that last Champions League place really uncomfortable for us before we actually ended up nipping it from them. But either way, it shows from recent history that this should be a tight affair nonetheless. Going into the starting 11, taking a look at Borussia Dortmund's starting 11, I put together a team that I think that we probably will expect to see. But of course, let me know in the comments, guys, if you disagree with any of the positions or you think I overlooked someone. But to get it started, Marco Rose, as we know, has tested out a few different formations. There was a little switch into the last Pokal match, the 4-2-3-1, but primarily it's looking like the 4-1-2-1-2 will be the formation going forward, and rightfully so, considering the lack of depth we have in wingers, the stacked midfield we have, and then of course adding Daniel Malen to the striker option alongside Tigges Mukuku and Erling Haaland. So that's exactly how I'm going to expect Marco Rose to line up. It is the 4-1-2-1-2. In goal will be Kobel. Right back will be Paslak. Again, Meunier has been ruled out of this match, so it really leaves Paslak. There is rumors that Emre Can could be available. So if Emre Can is actually fit, there's a slight chance he may start at right back, but considering that he's just coming back, more than likely Emre Can will not be starting as a right back or a center back, so I went with Paslak at the right back. The two center backs, we went Akanji, we went Papadopoulos, who right now seems to be that young man who's going to have an opportunity to take one of these center back positions. Like I said, it could be Chan maybe at the center back or right back, but the way it's looking, Papadopoulos has looked relatively decent so far. A lot of question marks will be asked along him, but he has been answering them along the way, and I think he'll have an opportunity to start his Bundesliga career really playing alongside Akanji in the heart of our defense. At left back will be Nico Schultz. Guerrero has been ruled out as well, so back four pretty much writes itself with the Chan question mark. Our CDM, I'm expecting it to be Witsel, bringing a little bit more of the defensive awareness as opposed to having Dahoud back there. Dahoud has played as a 6 a few times. It's just, I want a little bit more balance, so I'm expecting Witsel to probably get the start in this match, which then pushes Dahoud up the pitch a little bit, seeing Dahoud playing as more of that 8 upside in the midfield alongside Gio Reyna. Gio has been excellent, absolutely excellent in the last few games. He's looked apart, he looks confident, playing with some swagger that we all really appreciate, especially you U.S. men's national team fans. So I'm expecting the duo in the midfield between Dahoud and Reyna, which leaves our 10 as our skipper, our captain, Marco Reus. And then, of course, the two strikers, and I'm expecting Erling Haaland coming off of a hat-trick in the last round. And, of course, our main man, our new signing, Daniel Malen, hopefully getting his first Bundesliga start in his first game, and will hopefully look to do a little bit of damage alongside Haaland with Gio and Royce below him. So that's my predicted starting lineup for Borussia Dortmund in the 4-1-2-1-2 going up against Eintracht Frankfurt. And looking at Eintracht Frankfurt's side, having Oliver Glasner there, who came in obviously after doing a wonderful job at Wolfsburg. He's going to have some question marks as well. In the Pokal match, which he lost, by the way. For those of you guys who don't know, Frankfurt is immediately out of the first round of the Pokal. Well, we had a comfortable 3-0 win, but they lined up in the same type of system that you saw a lot at Frankfurt. It was a 3-4-2-1. Glasner at Wolfsburg liked playing in the 4-2-3-1, so maybe you can see that switch, but Frankfurt is a little bit similar to Dortmund in a way that they don't really have the personnel for that 4-2-3-1 quite yet. So I am maybe expecting him to line up, still stick with it in the 3-4-2-1, but considering that loss, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to make it work and play his 4-2-3-1 that we've seen him do so successfully over at Wolfsburg. And then taking a look at the key matchups, which is something I enjoy doing because it's taking a couple stars, I guess, from each side and pinning them against each other and seeing how the outcome may do. The first one is going to be a midfield battle. It's going to be Sebastian Rode, and it's going to be Giovanni Reyna. I picked those two because, one, Reyna, I think, has got an opportunity to take this starting role and run with it. There's a lot of hype around this young man, rightfully so. He's been absolutely incredible for us in preseason. Last year, he got forced out on the wing and had a lot of question marks about whether he's honestly the right man to break into the starting 11. With the change of shape, did him wonderful. He got to play in the middle of the park, and now he's going to go up against the like of Sebastian Rode, who will, guess what, be looking to get a little one over on his old team, because he was a Dortmund player for a little bit. It did not work out. He went back to Eintracht Frankfurt, went back to familiar territory, and he'll be the CDM looking to shut down some of the runs, some of the movement of Gio. So I'm pinning those two together as a key matchup in this match, with the second one being from Eintracht Frankfurt, Rafael Borja against Manuel Akanji. The new striker has huge boots to fill against Andre Silva, mainly because Andre Silva put up 28 goals in 32 games last year, so a lot of goals were plucked in. He didn't have a great start, and he's going to be up against Manuel Akanji. It'll be Akanji's job to shut him down and hopefully lead to another clean sheet for our young, questionable defensive line so far, but that's my other little key matchup between the two. All in all, going into this match, there are going to be some question marks about both sides, especially Frankfurt coming off that loss. And then Dortmund's back line. I mean, having Paslak, having Schultz, having Papadopoulos. You're telling me last season that was going to be our starting defensive our trio, foursome, whatever you want to put it, depending on how we're going to line up alongside Akanji. I'd have been a little bit confused, but they have an opportunity. They've basically worked pretty well together so far to get that clean sheet, and there's going to be a huge opportunity to them to go forward against that. So going to the prediction side of things, I'm expecting a 2-0 win for Dortmund. Something straightforward. I know Frankfurt's a very strong team. I do think there's going to be a transitional period, and we saw that in their opening match. I think Dortmund is kind of hitting a bit of a stride right now. I mean, the convincing Bologna game, there were some question marks again, obviously, in the Pokal matchup. It took a little bit of time for them to finally get some past their opposition to get a 3-0 win, but I still think that they're going to be able to basically just outclass Frankfurt a little bit in this match, and I'm hoping for a comfortable 2-0 win is my prediction. And be sure in the comments below to put your prediction. Who do you think is going to win between Frankfurt and Dortmund? I do think it's going to be a tough contest, don't get me wrong, but I think with the firepower up front of Haaland, seeing what he did with Royce and Gio, I think it's going to go our way. But a big heads up for you guys as well before we wrap up our preview. Producer T and I are going on a little vacation, so unfortunately for the weekend, we will not be available for the watch-along, and probably not the 5 takeaways either, just because we won't really have time to do it. We're going to be somewhere where it's just almost impossible to do it, so unfortunately for the first Bundesliga game of the season, there will be no watch-along. However, we will be back quickly early next week. We will come with our preview of the Super Cup. We'll come for the watch-along of the Super Cup. We'll get our Bundesliga Roundup, first ever Bundesliga Roundup series started for you guys on the Tuesday as well. And of course our 5 takeaways. So everything will be right on track. Just unfortunately for this weekend, no watch along and no 5 takeaways. So we're sorry, but we know that the support will be there nonetheless, and hopefully Dortmund can pick it up. So with that, guys, comes our match preview. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and put your comments down below with your predictions. Cheers, guys, and go BVB.